paraphrase down there in your way or something.
We've been doing a lot of solid waste research, investigation on about what they're paying other counties.
You won't get about 40. 30 years.
Well, we want to word it where we get some type of adjustment.
Phil, is there a paper up there?
Wasted 30 years to try to do
That's how I'm saying 3 to 5 year contract. Yeah. What's the deal on that Texas thing? Is that when they dump the trailers? All them trailers just in here, maybe some. I'd say 99, I'd say 100. Yeah. They ain't going nowhere else.
No. I guess I'm going to
What are we looking at money wise here in Jefferson?
here I'll go.
Money wise, what's involved in that?
That's about per ton that they go across the scales and dump it in that. The harvest world, the orange world, the last places, they get 3 times that. 285, 315, something like this, because if we write it, we have ordered if we redo it and say, okay, we're running another 25 or 30 year lease, but
I guess
just
I'll go with
periods every 5.
I say they need to get.
We're not gonna lock into something for 30 years.
I say they need to get them turned
Mike and
and wrap them guys. When they first done that down here, they had to negotiate.
Frank, we'll go Frank. Frank.
And them people, them people, mafia, man, they do what they do.
Don't be late. Right on the dot.
All rise.
You're saying, you're trying to start the thing.
Keith went like that and I couldn't help but say
Who said all right? Frank? That's okay. Just 1 minute.
We just bragged and see how good they are.
It sounded, well, it ain't hard.
10 yards.
Good thing.
I should have just kept on with the rest of it. Kenny been over there looking around like, oh, I'm not supposed to say that.
Okay. Remember, it's the number 9. Well, I mean, that's it.
My mom was here. Exactly the kind of thing that got you in trouble. That's why Bill Key was calling us twice a week. In his class, he had a substitute. She's there reading the roll. And so they were all answering for somebody else. They had a kid just named Gordy Brown. They said Gordy Brown, bro. Here? Hey, he's been Gordy here. I mean, he's got big boys there. They were all answering for somebody else.
I wondered that too. I didn't know what. I didn't know. I heard you know Gordy had a
Okay, now. Okay, Sheriff.
All right. This is Grant County Commissioners now session, Roseanne Ward.
Keith Arnold, would you give our invocation tonight?
Let us pray. Lord, we thank you for this another day. Lord, we ask you to be with those that are sick and afflicted. You reach down and heal their body, be thy will. Lord, we ask you to guide us that we make decisions that meet the best interests of our county. Lord, help us to agree to disagree on issues and help us to do what we think would be the best for the future of our county and its citizens. All these things we ask in your precious name. Amen.
Amen.
Commissioner Lashley, would you lead the pledge, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please. If you're present, please press your tablets.
David Stokes, Rodney Preston, Terry King, with 3 absent, no 4. This includes.
Scott, is that first one from the foundation on that? All right. Okay, we do have a quorum. Before we go to number 1, which is the approval of the agenda, I have a few things I would like to say. First of all, thank you to Arnold Fabricating for allowing us to come down there today and tour their plant. And also thank you to Jennifer Wheatley and the Industrial Board for the nice meal that they just fed us before the meeting. Then the next thing I want to say is, and it's with sadness that I tell you this, today the Mayor Ward's brother passed away. So we need to remember Mark and his dad and the family next several days to come. And the other thing is, I had several phone calls today because I know most of you heard that Mr. Stokes was in court this morning and that he pled guilty. So I was asked if we could announce that his seat was vacant tonight. So I called a reliable person and they said, no, you cannot declare his seat vacant until he is sentenced by a circuit judge. That sentencing is at the present scheduled for December. And one of the reasons why we couldn't go ahead is because between now and December, he does have the right to change his plea. But in December, once he's sentenced, of course, that's the end of it then. So it may be January before we can declare his seat vacant. So I announced that because I had a few phone calls about that today. And that's all. So we'll move on to number 1, which is the approval of the agenda. Need a motion and a second. Commissioner Holland and Commissioner Nunnery. All in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Okay. Number 2 is the citizens forum, and we do not have anyone that signed up tonight to speak. Number 3 is flock safety. I think we have a video that's going to be played.
It's not you, it's people as you want to speak.
Okay. Are these people with flock, or who are they with?
They're a bit long.
Okay.
Good evening, in McLeod Flock Safety.
We can hear you.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you. Sheriff mentioned that I have a very brief presentation. If I could share my screen, would that be all right? Wonderful, thank you. Sending the request to share my screen to you. Wonderful, and I've got that right here. Okay, so I'm joined by my colleague Jordan Burt. He is your sales and you can see me all. It's so nice to join you this time. History of Flock as a company. We were founded back in 2017 after our uptick of neighborhood. He went to his local law enforcement and with neighbors about and the crimes continued to occur in their neighborhood. And so they went to law and personal doorbell footage crimes in progress and of the suspects. And law enforcement, while thankful, do a whole lot with them. It wasn't enough of an investigative lead. And so Garrett, he's an engineer, law enforcement. Well, what would be helpful in this situation? And he learned that majority of crimes are committed vehicle. And so vehicle information, including a license plate number or a vehicle, is helpful. And so he researched further and found out that license plate reading technology, but unfortunately not very affordable for many communities. It wasn't very efficient, and it wasn't companies would sell the data to third parties. So Garrett wanted to create something that is affordable and ethical. And so Flock today, 6 communities nationwide. We work with thousands of law enforcement agencies, and we're seeing a lot of cities and counties turn because resources for law enforcement. Law enforcement resources are stretched quite thin, probably bury your deputy. And in addition to this, it's really challenging nowadays to recruit and retain law. And so technology, not to replace officers or deputies by any means, but to do their job more. So we call this collaborative policing technology, and it's a force multiplier. Agencies of all sectors crime and improve quality of life without increasing staffing. Shifting the focus, leaders, so they are at fixed locations throughout the county, sheriff ingress and egresses of the county, as well as crime patterns and traffic patterns. Those roadways, and also focused on capturing the rear of a vehicle. Machine learning and the information that is captured in the image and organize it. The 24/7, they are integrated for our law enforcement customers with the National Crime
Kristen?
Information.
I hate to interrupt, but can you call Scott? We're having trouble hearing you.
Oh, goodness. Yes, I will. Just one moment.
Ms. Kristen?
Hello. Can you hear me, Scott?
Yes, we can now hear you, and you're on microphone now.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much. Shall I pick up where I'm at? Right here?
Yes.
Oh, okay, wonderful. So our license plate readers are taking images focused on public roadways. Or, just 1 second, I'm just gonna. So sorry, I'm having a little bit of audio trouble with a lot of feedback, so I'm gonna try not to be distracted by that. Okay, so with the license plate readers, they are at fixed locations throughout the county. They are focused on public roadways, taking images of the rear of vehicles. Our machine learning digests that information and organizes that into a database where law enforcement officers can search for suspect vehicles based on different vehicle attributes. Now, we also, and I'll get into that into more detail, your deputies will also be alerted in real time to suspect vehicles. We are integrated on the back end with the National Crime Information Center, as well as the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. We also have the ability to provide your agency the ability to enter a real-time, what we call a hot list alert. So if an incident is evolving, if there is a crime in progress, and you have a suspect vehicle's description, they can create an alert to that vehicle and enter that into the Flock system so that if that vehicle passes by a camera in the community, your deputies will be alerted to that within seconds. We are ethically built. We do not utilize facial recognition software. There is no speed tracking. This is not a red light camera. This is about providing indiscriminate evidence to your deputies. So as mentioned, those alerts to the suspect vehicles can be received by your deputies, and we have agencies that have them receive them on their mobile terminals within patrol vehicles. They can receive alerts via their work phone and text messages. So it's all about getting the right information to the right folks at the right time. I mentioned the cameras capturing the rear of a vehicle and organizing the information of that vehicle into a searchable database. And this is what we call our vehicle fingerprint. And this is important because many times witnesses of crimes are unable to provide a license plate number. It's really difficult to, in a time of crisis, to capture a whole plate number. So deputies would be able to search for a suspect vehicle based on the vehicle make, body type, color. If there is a bumper sticker, they can check a box and filter for vehicles with a bumper sticker, in addition to license plate numbers, including state recognition. So really being able to distill information and get your deputies critical information based on that suspect vehicle. Something very important to us is privacy. We were built with privacy in mind, and there are several points that reinforce this. The first point is that the data is 100% owned by our customers and will never be sold by Flock. And this is outlined in the terms and conditions of the contract. We do work with private entities, like commercial businesses and neighborhood organizations. However, those private customers would never have access to government data or hot lists. Flock automatically deletes data after 30 days by default. This balances providing your deputies investigative value, but also not stockpiling images, vast amounts of images over the long term. If they are to retain information as part of a criminal investigation, they're able to download that information and store that in their evidence repository system. Flock has no access to any personal identifiable information. There is no name, address, social security number, registration information, no personal information contained within the Flock LPR system. And only your agency, only the Benton County Sheriff's Office would decide who to share with. So another law enforcement agency, if they would like to, not Flock. And although there is no personal information in the Flock LPR system, we do take data security very seriously. All of the data is encrypted end to end, and we have several certifications, and we take security protocols that are established by the NIST cybersecurity, as well as the Cloud Security Alliance framework. So really the top level of data security practices and certifications are employed. We also believe in enabling accountability and transparency. We have an LPR transparency portal, and what this feature is, it's customizable, it's optional for agencies, but we encourage agencies to partake in this. It's a public-facing web page that Flock generates based on your camera network, and it gives your community information on what the Sheriff's Office is utilizing the LPR system for, what acceptable uses of the system are, what prohibited uses of the system are. They can link their policy, and they can also share all of the other agencies that they're sharing camera network data with. Another key feature is that every single search of the system requires a unique user ID with a search reason or a case number, and that provides sheriff and the administrators of his Flock system the ability to audit the system and ensure that it's being utilized in accordance with policy and all applicable laws. The search reason and user ID are retained permanently. And coming soon, we also have proactive auditing alerts to any anomalies within any query of the system. So it would alert sheriff or his administrators of the Flock system to any search that could potentially be misused. And then switching over to our live video cameras. So our live video cameras are pan tilt zoom, and they are really about providing situational awareness. Typically, jurisdictions put these in at intersections or in parks so that they can, again, get a better sense of what is going on in the area. The system is not meant to be monitored 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's really when something is happening or has happened, your deputies can pull up that video and see what is happening and what is going on there, and be able to respond accordingly and safely, and have more information at their fingertips. And just to conclude, we are routinely solving and reducing crime. We work with over 140 law enforcement agencies within the state of Tennessee, including these listed here. And these are examples of some of the success stories that other agencies have shared with us, how they've been utilizing their license plate readers and live video to help impact community safety and solve crime. This is from Lebanon, Tennessee in late May of 2024. They were alerted by a neighboring agency that a suspect that actually was wanted in Indiana for drug trafficking and vehicle theft might be in the area. Officers were able to query the Flock Safety LPR system for that suspect's vehicle. It had passed by one of the cameras in the community. They were able to locate that and arrest the suspect. And then a search of that vehicle yielded narcotics as well as an illegally modified firearm. And that suspect is now facing multiple charges in both Indiana and Tennessee. This is an example of how suspects that were wanted in multiple states were arrested, shared with us by Nolensville PD. On February 5th of 2024, Nolensville police received an alert from their Flock LPR system that a stolen vehicle had passed by a camera in their community. They were able to locate that vehicle, detain 2 suspects, and discover that they were wanted for burglary and other crimes in 2 other states. A search of that vehicle yielded stolen property as well as an illegally modified firearm, very similar to that case study I just shared. And those individuals were arrested, and the stolen vehicles were returned to their owners. This is an example of how our LPR video works with our live video. This is from Citrus Heights, California. So an LPR at a local casino got it on a suspect vehicle associated with a robbery. And the casino shared their camera network with Citrus Heights PD. So the Citrus Heights PD were able to be alerted to that vehicle immediately. They were able to then pull up their live video through their Flock system from a nearby intersection and monitor the vehicle in a parking lot in real time without having to send officers right away. They were just able to monitor, for officer safety's reasons, they at a safe distance, and really be able to make good tactical decisions to approach. And then detectives were able to apprehend the suspect once they confirmed that that vehicle was associated with the robbery. And then lastly, to finish up, in addition to a variety of different crimes that LPR and live video can help impact, we've seen a real great impact with LPRs helping find missing and endangered individuals. This is an example of a silver alert, a missing elderly person in Port Washington, Wisconsin. A silver alert was issued at 2:43, and at 3:14, that senior's vehicle happened to pass by a camera in the community, alerting officers, and they were able to respond to that area and find that vehicle quite quickly. And that senior was returned with to the family within an hour of that alert being entered into the Flock system. So we're very proud of the impact that we've had in helping locate missing, vulnerable people, in addition to, of course, children. We have a really great partnership with the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. They are in support of license plate reader technology, assisting law enforcement to help find missing and endangered children. And we're very proud of that partnership, as well as the partnership with Mothers Against Drunk Driving. That organization also sees a huge value in first responders utilizing license plate reading technology. to help bring case resolution to any crimes that driving under the influence or hit and runs. And that concludes my presentation. I will stop there, and I believe I'll pass it to Sheriff.
As we looked at this, last time they made a presentation on audio and stuff on their secondary good, so the information may not all be coming through, but trying to pass on to it. This is a camera system that we need in our county. Surrounding counties have it, the cities have it, county has it, parish has it. I spoke with their police chief, he's doubling the size of what he's got. They're all across the state. We have access to tap into each one of those. It's something we definitely need in our county, and it will help us tremendously. Silver alert, amber alert, we all know we got human trafficking. I spoke with the girls in Tennessee, that over West Tennessee's human trafficking. It's went up, I don't remember the exact, I want to say, 6% over the last year of human trafficking that's in West Tennessee. Truck stops we got up here, I did a lot. Drug trafficking around truck stops, we know what they are and how it is. I looked into this pretty deep, and we need them. And I've talked to everybody that I know of that has them, and they're crazy. This is something we need, and for the price, I think it's an excellent deal. We have 24 hours a day around these places. We've got several spots. I wish they were mobile. They're not, because I like to move them from place to place. But we're asking for aid. I think Roseanne, you might can tell me around the city council deal. I don't know how many of y'all got in the city. It's Lord told me you ordered several more.
Oh, we got 6 to begin with.
I think that's more. So we know they're going to work out. Eric Police Chief, he's willing to come talk to us whatever they need to. But he was really praising them. Everybody that has them praising this camera system. As I said last time, like a half a mile across the line in the camera, girl was killed. I think she was out of Murfreesboro, and we would never made a connection on it. So I could keep you out of it. The block camera system was right outside where the rehab center was when she was in. They seen this vehicle pass by several different times, and he passed by, recording of each time. It passed by about 15 minutes before after she was reported this in rehab. They followed up on the Henry County tag, come straight back over to the man in Paris, went out there and got a confession of it. He was over here in Henry Creek, down by the dust lines, and been shot in the head. And within 2 days, they had information that caught. They said themselves we would never make a connection in Paris, Tennessee. We had to lost on it. This is something we need. I'll try to go into detail. I try to answer these questions, or Christian will, but I spoke to them several times and several people that have it. Decatur County is smaller than we are, and they've had it a lot. And they say they're doing great. We need this. And 8 cameras is not enough, but it would be a good way to start trying. We're asking for those 2 live cams. I'd like to put them out in the areas that we really know that we need them, so if something happens, we've got time to get there. Within 15 seconds of a vehicle passing by one of these cameras, if there's warning for anything, anywhere that's been entered by law enforcement, that's the only way it can be entered. In our department, it would only be entered after it went through me or GPS, that it's okay to be entered. It's not for tracking anybody unless you've done something, they have a reason. And law enforcement enters it. Within 15 seconds, our central dispatch will be notified, and we can be headed toward where the vehicle is at, whether it has a child in it, or they robbed something, killed somebody, whatever it might be that they're wanting for. Within 15 seconds, we'll be notified. Don't get much quicker than that. I have heard nothing negative on this, nothing at all. The one gentleman had a video up last time, Big Sandy, I think, he said that some officer used it to track his ex-wife and said, "Where she's going." That's officer misconduct. You would have that in for all these. We would have the Benton County, which would go through me, or the chief deputy before they're there. If y'all got any questions about that?
Are you
Gonna bring a resolution next month for this.
Yes. I want to get everybody's thoughts on it. I've invested a lot of time and work on it. But I think we're interested in it, yes, I'll bring a resolution. Has anybody got any questions, so we can try to get something?
Sir, if you would please clarify for anybody watching this, that this is not gonna be used for robo tickets. Everybody thinks they're gonna be getting the tickets in the mail if these cameras are put up. You can't tell them any difference, so please clarify that this is not gonna be used for robo tickets.
You, Christian mentioned it, but it has nothing to do with speed. It has nothing to do with red lights, stop signs, nothing like that. If you have not been entered into this system by a law enforcement agency anywhere in the country, then it will not pick up on it. If Sonny here's got 5 vehicles, and we're looking for something that Sonny's done, he's been put into the system. Any of his 5 vehicles shows up, so by one of these cameras anywhere in the United States that it covers. We know right where he's at. And then the next camera that picks him up somewhere will show what direction he's going. And when he gets wherever and they can get to him, he'll be picked up and helped for us. If we enter, if they enter. It's just a really good system. It's one of the best things that I've seen in a long time, and we definitely need it. So, and I can get y'all's feedback on where you think. I've dug into it, and I can't find any negative. It's all positive. I know we don't have the money. I've asked for more officers, and I'll keep asking. But this right here is a lot cheaper than putting officers out there. And it's if we're gonna put it in the areas that we think we really need it the most for our drug trafficking, human trafficking.
Question, Sheriff?
Yes.
You said you're gonna get 8 cameras. I assume you're putting some, of course, near the interstate, each side of the 70. You got, what about down in Big Sandy? Because, you know, you get one in downtown Big Sandy, you can't go down to Big Sandy, that won't pass downtown.
I can put one in Big Sandy that tells everything we need to know. Our riverfront, I know this is not y'all's expertise, I'm not no expert on anything, but our riverfront has got tremendously busy with drug trafficking. 2 weeks ago, we had a call of a girl going up down the river on jet ski, delivering those boats. People on the bank waiting for her to call them, and they just step out on the side of the bank, she delivers it on jet ski, but we don't have a boat, we can't catch it. PWRA does not work drugs, that's pushed in front of them where they have to. One of them will be close to the river, okay, without just telling you the exact location. One will be close to the river. Of course, we'll have some up on the interstate. I want to put them on every entrance coming into Benton County, 7641. Any way that you come into this county, will be notified the instant you come into our county. If you're leaving, it'll feed into, going 641 north, it'll feed into Henry County, so you come in their county. But if we see one coming in from Henry County, the camera picks it up, shows if they're coming in or coming south. The next camera we would have up on the city will pick them up and show us the same direction they're going until we can figure out exactly where they're at. It just gives us a larger percentage of anybody looking for any major crime or anything enters our county, then we got time to react.
What's the cost for additional cameras?
Additional cameras, Christian, if you answer that, I don't have that.
Yes, so the additional cameras are about $3,000 per camera per year. And then if you install additional, there may be some one-time installation fees associated with that.
Right now, the cost for the 8 is what?
I'm sorry, wasn't able to hear that last part.
What's the cost that we're looking at right now for the 8 cameras that the sheriff would like to have?
What's the cost right now with the 8 that we currently have?
The 8 plus the 2 live view, I believe, and Jordan can correct me if I'm wrong, but that is $30,000 per year, and we waived the installation fees.
So if you added cameras now, you want to waive that installation fee on the additional cameras?
That is a great question. I can defer that question to Jordan as far as if whether or not we will be able to waive the installation fees for additional cameras. I'm not sure if Jordan's able to answer right now.
I don't know if you guys can hear me, Kristen, but yes, it's just a little promotion we got going on right now. Not a lot. Typically, installation fees are $1,250, so it could save you.
So you're gonna waive the additional installation fee, and do it all at one time, so. And then it's $3,000.
All
For per camera.
installation fees are just one. Just imagine it. It's our team coming out, digging the holes, putting in a pole. We're waiving those.
You got any more questions for the sheriff or
If you had on.
for Kristen?
You know, I think we want to do it.
Yep.
I think we want to put in the camera system. Maybe we need to look at doing it free installation instead of giving the minimum number, get a number that, you know, maybe 10 or 12 total. You know, then a dozen that we could use, you know, just in Henderson County, or where Saltillo, they had a lady in Dixon, I think, who run off in water, you know, last week. If we do this, I'd like to see us get enough cameras that, you know, the sheriff can spread them out when we want to need it. Let's protect ourselves, and get free installation, and let's get an even dozen. You know, they always say, "Believe cheaper by the dozen." I think it would be that way now.
I would recommend that we go to a dozen installation fee is waived. It gives us a little better coverage around the county.
How much
The
would
cost
run a year?
Well, the cost would be, UB 42, yeah, $12,000 more. So, UB 42,000 a year instead of 30.
That's the less than half of one day.
So, yeah.
You got 30,000.
30,000. Well,
Yeah, that would be 3,000. Well, no, I'm sorry.
It's 36, right?
30,000.
But you got two live cameras.
$3,000 piece
Yeah,
for
so you
four.
got,
Live cameras and more.
I believe that's correct. You need live cameras a little bit more.
You'll have to answer that for you. I won't tell you wrong, but I think.
Let's ask them.
Commissioner Price wants to speak.
Yes, they only face one way.
Are they bi-directional?
Sheriff, it sounds like everybody's on the same sheet of music. I think we ought to get the bottom line, 12 of them. If we could work the deal with Fly on the installation, et cetera, and get, like Keith said, get 12 of them, go ahead and put together a resolution, and, yeah, let's pass it through committee.
Now, does the 12 include the 2 lives, or is there 2 more additional on 14? Is that what we're at?
We're looking at 8 cameras, 2 live. 8
cameras consistent.
That's what I'm talking about. We really, what Jordan said, man, her boss, Kristen's boss, when I spoke with him, he said, however many you get in this first installation, we'll waive installation cost. After that, it would depend on whether we got a whole lot more or it was just gonna cost us $1,500 for installation.
Let's ask them what the cost would be for a dozen cameras plus the 2 live. If we got them on the phone, so to speak, right now, let's get some information.
Yep.
We couldn't get that, that would help us.
Can we get that information from them?
14 total, so 12 LPRs plus 2 live views would be $42,000. And like I said, we'd wait. But the thing I'll say is, we'd have to move relatively quickly because this promo that I.
See, if you do 41 first year. 40. You do 40 the first year.
As far as quickly, we would have to have a resolution for appropriation, which could not come until next month. But we can get it done then.
Commissioner Furr?
I have a question. Are these cameras hardwired installation or some type of GPS type of installation?
They run off cell phone with, solar power.
Solar power. Are they bi-directional where they catch both lanes coming in? I mean, east and west, I mean, on the highway, just one directional camera, they don't shoot both ways, get far one.
Think of a Ring camera with a solar panel on top of it, with a lot more technology underneath the hood.
But it's not omnidirectional in that, I mean, it's just really just one way.
One way.
You'd have to have two. Single bulb.
Yeah.
Hey, Jordan,
Yep.
can you explain, it's not one directional, it's what degree of view does it give you?
For the LPR, inbound traffic. So say you're catching people going or wanting to view people going north, sure, the northbound lane. For the live view cameras, those are 270 degrees. So you're going to be able to see basically around where we put those.
Okay, that answers that.
You're one direction.
It's still the two left.
270 degrees.
Yeah.
I can't understand you.
So we'll have to have a resolution for appropriation next month for 12 and 2 live. 42,000 is what.
There any promo deadline? So I'd have to go to leadership and get that approved if it's November 20th.
I don't know what he said, but.
Something about get it approved November 20th? Yeah.
Moving right along.
Okay.
You said that you couldn't guarantee the promotional after this month?
That's what I'm saying right now. So I would go to try to get that approved. So I was wondering if there was any way we could vote earlier than that.
No.
Not sure what would happen.
Could we take a vote for intent?
No.
No.
No, it's strictly an appropriation.
We have to have a resolution to vote on it, and we don't have a resolution for tonight, but we could have one for next month.
Okay. If you guys on when you could say yes, confirm with sheriff if I can get that installation fee waived or not.
If you get it waived, I think we want to pass it.
Yeah.
40 sounds a lot better.
Yeah, for sure.
We'll pass it. You can get it waived.
Good to do. It's me. Let me talk to my leadership team, and we can go from there. But I would assume that that's because it's a little bit out of promo right now. But I think I can get them to extend it.
As long as they'll extend.
Jordan, we're gonna
Would
talk
be.
about it, we'll call you back, okay?
As long as they extend it, I don't see a problem.
The next
really
meeting
do
would
think
be
this would be
November 17th.
November 17th.
We're gonna have a resolution.
Yeah, I've got to have a resolution for the appropriation.
Jordan,
Yeah.
this is Sheriff. We're gonna have to do our resolution and bring it before you next month, but I believe if you can get that, cleared so that we can get the installation fee cleared, that's what we wanna do. Get back with me if you will, and I'll speak with you more on it, but I think everybody's pretty much in agreement that we'll go forward with this, if you can go forward and get the installation fee dropped off, please.
Excellent. Okay. You're calling in the morning,
Okay,
Sheriff.
we're going to move on. I think we,
I appreciate y'all very much. Thank you, Chris.
is there someone here from the Carl Perkins Center? Okay. Number 4 on our agenda is the Carl Perkins Center. Whoever's here for that, come forth, please.
Is this where I'm supposed to be for the
Yes.
evening? Okay. Every county's different, so just checking. So, okay. I am Carly Wheat. So thank y'all for having me here tonight. Mary, sorry about your loss. I am the director of the Carl Perkins Center in Henry County. We are a child advocacy center, so that means that we serve children and families impacted by trauma, sexual abuse, physical abuse, drug exposure, and if they're a witness to a violent crime, homicide, suicide. We work hand in hand with law enforcement and DCS on a daily basis. We provide many services, such as forensic interviews with law enforcement and DCS. We provide the trauma-focused cognitive behavioral therapy. We also provide victim advocacy. So when a child has to testify in court or a child comes for a forensic interview, they are given a tour of the CAC, which is the Child Advocacy Center. So if you hear me say CAC tonight, just know that's what I'm kind of used to saying, but it means Child Advocacy Center. They're given a tour of the center, so that helps them to feel safe and secure. Our Child Advocacy Center in Henry County is a house. It's designed to be set up as a comfort zone for the child. It's designed to have law enforcement and DCS also come to feel at home and to feel that they can be provided with the services that the children are. So we are a team approach. We work with a multidisciplinary team. Part of my job is community education, so that's what I'm doing here tonight, is educating the community on what the Child Advocacy Center is. We have monthly, which is Child Protective Investigative Team meetings, which we call CPIT meetings. We have those at the Camden Police Department. I'm going to pass out, if okay, a one-page flyer for you all. Can you pass them out? Thank you. So by legislation, every county in the state of Tennessee is represented by a child advocacy center. So there is no county that goes untouched that does not have services provided by a child advocacy center. Currently, every county in West Tennessee is covered by the Carl Perkins Center, which is the Exchange Club Carl Perkins Center for the Prevention of Child Abuse. We cover every county in West Tennessee except for Shelby County. Obviously, they are one in their own. They have the Memphis Shelby County Child Advocacy Center. The only 3 locations in West Tennessee that do not have a fiscal location, one is Benton County. That's why I'm here tonight. Also, Lake County and Obion County. Now, Benton County is serviced by Henry County as well as Carroll County. We share the operating budget of Benton County. My therapist, who is here with me tonight, she serves Benton County clients as well. My victim advocate, who is not here tonight, she wished she could be, but she serves Benton County as well as Carroll County. So just as a one location, sometimes those roles go beyond just Henry County when we service other counties as well. As you can see, last year that we served over 89 children just in Benton County. Now that's not the reports that have been made, not been made. Those are the reports that we receive through the DCS hotline of severe abuse. So severe sexual abuse, physical abuse, drug exposed, and a witness to a crime. So those are the ones we know about. Those are not the cases that we don't know about. We had 14 forensic interviews. And I wish I could change this a little bit because just 2 weeks ago, we had 6 in one day for Benton County, which is a lot, is definitely a lot. We had 10 that completed the trauma-focused cognitive behavioral therapy to help in the healing process. And we had 13 children be a part of our victim advocacy program. And you got to understand, sometimes that child with the victim advocate will remain with the victim advocate sometimes 2 or 3 years, sometimes up to 5 years, as long as the court case continues in court. And that's unfortunate because we do have to have them recall that trauma every time that we have to prepare them for court testimony. We had a total number of 59 alleged offenders that were named in Benton County. So this isn't just a combination, of all the counties combined. This is here in this county. So what I want to do tonight, because we are nonprofit, we have to, by legislation, remain nonprofit, remain a non-neutral party between law enforcement and DCS. Yes, we do work with TBI. Yes, we work with the FBI. We work with Homeland Security sometimes when they come in and need forensic interviews done. Sometimes they bring their own forensic interviewers or they request to use our forensic interviewers because they are highly trained to provide that evidence as well. We receive money sometimes in different counties from city and county allocations. We do not receive that money here in Benton County for operating. And did you know that the average cost of a therapy session costs $100 if billed by insurance? Of course, as a neutral party and a nonprofit, we don't bill any insurance. So a child can continue to come for TFCBT therapy regardless if it's for 5 sessions or if it's for 25 sessions. And sometimes those cases can last for about a year. Also, any monetary support that we would get comes from donations. We don't really have an operating budget here in Benton County because we do not have a fiscal location here. And something that I'm asking for tonight is something I don't think has been done. So what I'm wanting to do is asking for the Benton County Commission to establish a resolution of the Victims Assessment Funds. This is from Tennessee Code Annotated 40-24-109, and it's to establish the Carl Perkins Center as the designated recipient of the county's victim assessment fee. In essence, this creates a framework for Benton County to support these vital services to crime victims. Our victim advocate assists these victims on a daily basis, also in applying for victims' compensation, which is basically like a trust fund through the state of Tennessee that when that child turns 18, they can receive up to $3,000 for their pain and suffering from the trauma that they have endured. We are asking for 42 of those designated dollars out of the 45 to be distributed to the Carl Perkins Center. This will assist many child victims of trauma. It will assist in the establishment, hopefully, of a fiscal location here in Benton County, a fiscal location that your children here in Benton County can come to instead of having to travel to Henry County for forensic interviews or Carroll County. Most of the forensic interviews are done in Henry County. And as you all know, if any of you are in the helping field or you can look around on the streets and see, most of these families do not have adequate transportation to be getting to Henry County or to Carroll County, even though it's 30 minutes down the road. So that's always a struggle that we have to face. Some of our DCS workers and our law enforcement have had to transport children from Benton County to our center to have the forensic interview because the family cannot feasibly get to Henry County across the county lines. So this will hopefully help us establish and look for a fiscal location. It will help with that operating. And please, commissioners, consider making a difference in Benton County tonight. And thank you for your time, and thank you for listening. Any questions? Yes, bring them on.
Are these children treated as outpatient children, or are they housed through the Department of Human Services somewhere?
No, these children are, we do not have any inpatient treatment facility at all. It is, we work with law enforcement and DCS. They bring the children to us for those specialized forensic interviews, and it's a one-stop shop for the forensic interview, the therapy, the victim advocacy.
Does DCS, do they house in a facility for abused children or anything?
No, not unless they're placed in foster care. And I think I know where you're going with that. Sometimes the children will have to remain at the DCS office awaiting foster care, especially if that DCS worker is removing that child. Now, when there is a fiscal location involved, DCS likes to pick up on those perks sometimes. And if DCS is if a center is big enough, which ours in Henry County is not, if the center is big enough, DCS can be co-located, which means the Child Protective Service workers, the investigators, can be housed in the Child Advocacy Center. So that comes with like a co-location grant. Yeah.
They can be housed in a temporary house.
Yeah, and sometimes the children can wait with the DCS worker while they're awaiting placement. Yes. Just an instance, our DCS workers stop in, our law enforcement too. We're really close to the courthouse. We have the ability to have that child and family wait at the center instead of waiting all day in court for them to be able to testify. Law enforcement and DCS will take advantage too and walk down and grab a snack, grab a water out of the fridge, go to the bathroom, relieve some steam, that they've been in court all day. come work, set their laptop down on the boardroom table. So it's just as much benefit to them as it is the children and families that we serve.
Question.
Yes,
You said you got that $42 out of 45.
yes.
Where's that 45 at?
The 45 comes from
That court cost?
From the court cost, yes, exactly. So based on that Tennessee code annotated, I've got it right here because I knew that would be something that probably would be asked. That establishment, obviously, through the victim assessment fee, a county, it comes from the court cost. The $45 comes from the court cost. If a person enters a plea of guilt, is found guilty by judge or jury, or enters a plea of non-contendere, they enter a plea pursuant of any diversionary.
That court cost that's court cost associated with any.
That's correct.
So if you get somebody in violation of probation, that $45 is added into the court cost. If it's a ticket, whatever they plead guilty to, then that court cost is $45.
That's correct.
In there.
That's correct.
Could be moved over to y'all.
Yes, sir.
What are y'all receiving now? Are you receiving that?
From Benton County. We received a one-time donation of, I think it was $5,000 from the county. So from you all back in end of August, beginning of September.
That was a nonprofit donation?
Yes, correct. Correct.
So we're not receiving anything from the court fees at this time?
No, sir.
Right now, whether those court fees go to the state.
I have no idea. That would be established by Benton County. So the county government, the county elects, they must elect. So by this legislation, the county must elect to establish or fund a program and designate a specific victim service program that the assessment will support.
Right now, we designated nothing.
So you want that designation?
I would like to receive that designation for Benton County services, yes.
Would that be sound that we need to get with?
It would be. We collect a lot of those fees. We had one last year that we were collecting that was similar, but we would have to send it back to the state. Well, we elected to give it to the drug court, Bradbury, because we were having to write a check and send it back to the state every year. And it would benefit us to give it to our local court for that program for rehab, is what I think that.
So we need to find out from Sam how much.
I don't even think it's being collected right now. I think we have to enact that to make that be collected, and then we'll have it.
There is, yes, sir.
Right now, so I bet we're sending it back to the state.
Mm-hmm.
Charlie said he thinks that fee may be going to RAP, that may be some of the money we designated for RAP right now.
So we need to check with Sam's office.
We need to check with Sam and see what's going on. Because it may have already been designated this year, Charlie said.
That's understandable, yes, yes.
We'll have to find out, but I can get that information for everyone.
Yeah. Well, we definitely have a child protective investigative team that is wanting to take advantage of every service here and wanting to find a fiscal location to provide services for families here. So, and with that, I know this is kind of outside of just the agenda topic, but looking for a place that we could call home. Just keep your ears and eyes open. That would be something that, but we have to have a flow of money from Benton County coming for us to be able to even have a fiscal location. Because as of right now, we have no county or city allocation fees. We've been turned down numerous years by the city of Camden for allocation money. And we have no flow of money other than just a private donor every year. But obviously that's nothing. That's not going to keep the lights on, the doors open, and we need something for the children here to have as best access as they do, like we do in Henry County and Carroll County. Yes, of course, we say 5 days a week, but unfortunately, our jobs are 24/7. So although it's rare, it does happen. Sometimes DCS has to come to the center, after hours, on the weekends and on holidays. And we have to do what we have to do to protect kids. And if that means a forensic interview at midnight, which has happened, that's what we do. And I'm a former forensic interviewer, and I understand the importance of safety. And sometimes when a child their safety is compromised, it doesn't matter what time of day or weekend or whatever, the center has to be there and has to be open to provide that service. So, yes. Yeah.
Any other questions?
Would you touch on it again, last month? And what do you average per month, just Benton County, of cases that you did?
Yes. On average, we have anywhere from about 8 to 13 cases that we have on our agenda to review. Now, keep in mind, not every one of those is going to end up being referred for prosecution. Some of it obviously is unfounded. Some of it is drug exposed that we substantiate, but we don't refer for prosecution just by legislation. But we're averaging about 8 to 13 children that we review all of the cases every month, all the evidence, the corroboration, the victim interview, the perpetrator interview, and work with our district attorney and our assistant district attorney on determining the next step of action. So
Just in Benton County?
Just in Benton County, yes, sir.
These cases reviewed monthly?
Yes. 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 Every month we come together as a team. Your CPIT team, which is the Child Protective Investigative Team, consists of your law enforcement investigators, Department of Children's Service investigators, the assistant district attorney, myself, the forensic interviewer, the mental health therapist, a medical representative. The juvenile court is also involved in that process, and your victim advocate.
The money we give now, is that split between you and Carroll County, or?
Benton County does have their own budget, but it's not enough to pay our employees out of. It's not enough to.
We talked to the girl from Jackson, we give her what she requested.
Yeah, that's my boss.
She was looking at a house in Benton County then.
Yes.
And looked at some houses in Benton County.
Yes.
And they were gonna do that out of Jackson.
Yeah, so Jackson is our central office. So we have a central office, but each county has their own specific budget. So me and Henry County, I'm the Henry County director. So I have my own Henry County budget. I have my own Henry County advisory board, which is like a board of directors, but it's an advisory board. And we have our own CPIT teams. We have our own staff. So she is my higher up. She is my boss. Yes. Yes. So right now that goes divided between Henry County and Carroll County budget. Yes. Yes. Just because we don't have a fiscal location. Now, once we get that fiscal location, everything will go into its own operating budget, which is meant to provide those services. That'll come with, I kind of thinking of this in my head, how, it may be me as the part-time director, to start out to get this place up and running, of course, because I've built the relationships here since I am over the CPIT team. Until we hire a full-time director, an office manager, until they work out whether, our therapist is going to continue providing therapy for Benton County or if it's going to be one therapist. So it just kind of depends.
Just Benton County's budget on that, or would it go to the central office?
No, it would go for Benton County. Now, central office, I'm not going to steer you wrong, runs every county's budget, but each county has their own operating budget. So, for instance, when we have fundraisers, we as a county, because we have a fiscal location, we have fundraisers in Henry County. Carroll County has their own fundraisers. Decatur County has their own fundraisers. Henderson County has their own fundraisers. Those fundraisers help support the center. Because we're nonprofit, everything is 100% free. So we have to provide fundraisers. So my hope is we get here, we get our own fiscal location. I get an advisory board. We get fundraisers up and rolling that can get the community involved in giving back to the center. We can get volunteers. We can create a food pantry. We can create a clothing pantry and a hygiene pantry, which is something that we have at the center in Henry County. And we average about 4 or 5 families a month coming in. Some of them are our families, but some of them are just community members that are in need of food, that we provide them food with and hygiene items.
You know if any progress in getting a house here?
I have not. I have a very good situation in Henry County. The city of Paris increased our city allocation money to help support us in the location that we are. And we work with them because we're directly across the street from them and we're really close to the courthouse within walking distance. And it was a benefit to our law enforcement, to our staff, and to our families. So the city of Paris did increase their allocation money to help support us there. Our rent is fairly cheap because the landlord knew what we were doing and wanted to make sure that we stayed there. But some counties have churches or have people that literally will donate that building to them $1 a month. You know, so if it's any, you know, realtor or any person that has rental property is willing to work with us on. So, and it doesn't have to be a house. Carroll County is a renovated medical building, you know. Now, I would love one day in Henry County to expand to be able to have my law enforcement as well as DCS under one roof. That's what a Child Advocacy Center is designed to be. If you go to the Memphis Child Advocacy Center, their law enforcement is there, their district attorney, their assistant district attorney is housed there, their child protective service investigators are housed there. They have SIPP meetings because, as you can imagine, it's Memphis, Shelby County. They have SIPP meetings every single day. They start their morning with child protective investigative team meetings. I can't imagine, but that's what they do. So they're all housed under one roof to be able to get everything done that they need to get done. So that's a goal. Any more questions? I could literally talk all night about this. I've been with the center for many years. I started when I was 15 years old and have never left. And I did leave, but I came back as a forensic interviewer, therapist, director. I've literally done everything that was possibly made up at the center. So I'm invested in this. This is my career. This is my passion. And I could pretty much tell you anything you needed to know about the center. Would y'all like to hear a success story? Would that make it a little bit better to kind of hear a success story? It's not all gloom and doom. You know, a lot of people think that we want to put those rose-colored glasses on and think that it doesn't happen here. But just as Sheriff said, we have trafficking here. You know, it happens. We have child trafficking here. And it may not look like they're being passed by semi to semi, you know, what you may think, or kids shoved in a white van. Your typical trafficking looks like moms selling their children for drugs. Looks like moms, you know, basically prostituting their children out for those needs. So solicitation online. We're getting ready, that law enforcement here, as well as the assistant district attorney and DCS, and an FBI representative from Henry County. We're getting ready to go into the schools here in Benton County and present on sextortion because it is such a prevalent crime that's happening all around West Tennessee. So we've got a lot of movement here in Benton County that I'm very proud of that we've never had before. So I'm just rolling with it. So a success story, let me tell you. So we had a little boy a couple years ago, I would say. He's 12 years old, was sexually abused by a perpetrator that was their handyman. The child had a forensic interview. The child had victim advocacy, which meant that victim advocate worked with that child to help prepare them for court testimony and the victim assessment fee. The child also had trauma-focused cognitive behavioral therapy and is still in TFCBT. So court happened a couple months ago. The case was prosecuted. The perpetrator received 12 years and had to register as a sex offender. The child wrote a victim's impact statement with the help of the child's family and the victim advocate. And so getting to do that really helped him heal through that process, because a lot of times children feel that they don't have a voice. So them actually facing their perpetrator in open court, reading that victim impact statement, was part of that healing process for that 12-year-old. And the child's still in TFCBT working on some things. We'll obviously have to work on a lot of things probably for the rest of his life, but that's just a step in his journey towards healing. So any questions anymore? I could talk your ears off, I promise. So thank y'all so much for having me. And I guess do I need to come back next month or?
Well, I think probably we need to do some work on this and get with the general sessions clerk and find out about the money, if it's all going into route or how it's set up in his office. Then we would have to also have a resolution.
Okay.
Come back and set it up for you.
That, no problem, we can do
You
that.
have your information?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, he does.
We'll look all that up.
Okay.
Talk with budget about how much is coming into that and where it's going, and
Yes.
try to get you a resolution for next month.
Thank you. And just so you know, if it does, our Henry County resolution, we are also split into threes. So one organization does not have to be the sole designee for that fund. We are split into thirds. So myself, CASA, which is the court appointed special advocates. I don't think y'all have that here in Benton County, but we do in Henry County, as well as RAP. We do receive those funds. So those $42 is split into thirds out of that $45 every month. So, yes.
We'll get that information to the.
Okay.
We can get back.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Thank y'all.
Number 5 is the commissioners forum. Do we have a commissioner that wants to speak? Okay.
Quick. Promise I won't be long. Like I said, I won't be long. I just have a statement to make. For several months now, we have been without a county attorney. A county attorney not only represents the mayor's office, but the commissioners also. We should be able to contact an attorney if we have a question, legal or not, when we need an answer. There has to be in this governing body, in and out of the meetings, somebody that we can get in touch with our questions. By not having an attorney, different departments don't have anyone to get their answers to their questions to either on legal matters. This is leaving us open to mistakes being made and legal actions. We need a full-time attorney, the one that will be at the meetings, one that we have a phone number that we can contact them if we have a question about a resolution or anything legal pertaining to purchases or anything like that. There should be somebody that full-time that we can get a hold of. Why we haven't gotten a full-time attorney now, I don't know. We should have one sitting right over there, but we do not. There's no excuse for it. We've got to have somebody that can keep this governing body accountable for making mistakes or anything else that can correct us and tell us the right path to go on if we have a legal question. And we do not have that. Thank you.
I'm going to call a 10-minute break.
Order in court. Hey, Roseanne.
Check.
Chairman Murphy's never received.
All right, back to business. Chairperson Ward had to leave to take care of some personal business. So I'll see if I can't get us to the finish line. I believe that we got down to the commissioners forum, and now we're ready for any comments from the county mayor.
Oh, I don't have any comments tonight.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Mark.
I talked to Jeff and he said that he would bring her up at the resolution if that was okay with y'all under discussion. And Mr. Whitaker also on his resolution.
All right, thank you. Next item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes. Do I hear a motion?
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Furr, second by Commissioner Bain. Any discussion? Oh, Barry Holland and Commissioner Bain. All those in favor? Any opposed? Minutes are approved. This brings us down to the report of public utilities. Do you hear a motion? Motion by Commissioner Price. Is there a second? Oh, I see now. This is so complicated. All right, motion by Commissioner Bain, second by Commissioner Nunnery. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The minutes of the report of the public utilities is approved. Now we're at the resolutions. Resolution number 1, resolution by Mayor Mark Ward to appoint Jonathan Bailey to the Benton County Parks and Recreation Board to serve a 4-year term. A motion by Commissioner Melton, second by Commissioner Arnold. Any discussion? Machine is open. Record your vote, please.
Jeff?
I bet I'll vote too.
Anyone wish to change your vote? Motion carries 14 yes.
All right. Resolution number 2, resolution by Mayor Mark Ward to appoint Jody Mock to the Benton County Animal Shelter Board to serve a 4-year term. Motion by Commissioner Burke, second by Commissioner Melton. Any discussion? The machine is open. Record your vote.
Anyone wish to change your vote? Motion carries 14 yes.
Resolution number 3, a resolution by Director of Schools Mark Florence to budget funds received from TBA to proper line items in the school budget for expenditures. Motion by Commissioner Price, second by Commissioner Melton. Any questions on this resolution? If not, please vote.
Would you change your vote? Motion carries 14 yes.
Resolution number 4, resolution by Director of Schools Mark Florence to budget funds received from the Public School Security Grant to proper line items in the school budget for expenditures. Motion is by Commissioner Melton, seconded by Commissioner Hall. Any discussion? Please vote.
Anyone wish to change your vote? Motion carries 14 yes.
Resolution number 5, resolution by Director of Schools Mark Florence to budget funds received from the Healthier Schools Challenge Grant, proper line items in the school budget for expenditures. Motion by Commissioner Fowler, second by Commissioner Burke. Any questions, discussion? Please vote your conscience.
Anyone wish to change your vote? Motion carries 13 yes and 1 abstain. 1 no, sorry.
1 no. All right. Resolution is passed. Resolution number 6, a resolution by Director of Schools Mark Florence to budget funds received from Health Student Strong Learners Grant, proper line items in the school budget for expenditures. A motion by Commissioner Fowler and seconded by Commissioner Melton. Any discussion? Machine is open, please vote.
Do you want to change your vote? 13 yes, 1 no.
Resolution passes. Resolution number 7. Resolution by Benton County Mark Ward to seek permission and approval to allow parties to donate time and supplies to construct a catio structure on the existing animal shelter. Motion by Commissioner Fowler and seconded by Commissioner Melton. Any discussion? If not, we'll vote.
Mr. Burke?
You want to change your vote? Motion carries 14 yes.
Resolution passes. Resolution number 8, a resolution by Benton County Mayor Mark Ward to budget funds in the amount of $2,000 received as a contribution from TVA and Benton County Electric System to the Benton County Senior Citizen Center. Motion by Commissioner Price, seconded by Commissioner Hall. Is there any discussion?
I'd like to say one thing.
Mayor Ward?
I'd just like to say one thing on this before you vote. It's brought to my attention, that's $2,000 total. 1,000 came from the electric company and 1,000 came from TVA, but 500 of this will go to the Big Sandy Senior Citizen Center and 1,500 to go to the Camden one, is the way they had allocated that. So this would just be putting this into an expenditure account where we can distribute that.
Anyone else? All right, please vote.
You want to change your vote? Motion carries 14 yes.
Resolution number 9 has been pulled from the agenda to be considered at a later date. All right, resolution number 10. A resolution by Mark Ward authorizing the mayor to apply for and execute contracts in relation to a Discover business credit card for the Benton County Highway Department. A motion by Commissioner Burke, seconded by Commissioner Melton. Any discussion or?
I can answer questions if people have them.
What are you looking at on a limit?
10,000, and I think it has to be that. A lot of the parts that they have to purchase out there are $4,000 or $5,000, and what they are doing right now is using their personal credit card to purchase this stuff and then getting the county to reimburse them, which is just like the sheriff and I know that's something that you shouldn't do. So I'm just talk to Brian. He's here if y'all have questions for him, but it's something that he's trying to do to straighten up everything and make sure it's being done properly, so the comptroller's office don't ding us on that. It's just a proper way for it to be done.
What about I like a Discover card, what about the cashback thing on it? I'm sure they'll buy a lot of parts and things.
Yeah, if we can get one that offers that, it'll just be more money for the county's highway department to spend.
All right, anyone else? All right, machine is open, record your vote.
You want to change your vote? Motion carries 14 yes.
Resolution number 11, the resolution by Benton County Mayor Mark Ward to appropriate budget funds in the amount of $200,000 to cover a reimbursable grant. Need a motion? All right, motion by Commissioner Melton and seconded by Commissioner Arnold. We have with us tonight from the Benton County, Benton Decatur Utility District, Mr. David Whitaker, who will come and share some information about this resolution for you, answer your questions.
Thank you, Commissioners, and I'm not gonna take a lot of your time, because this Benton ARPA is one of 4 grant monies that we're dealing with the Benton Decatur County Special Sewer District. Like I said, my name is David Whitaker. I work for the Mayor's Office in Decatur County, serve as the County Fire Chief, as well as EMA Deputy Director, and other duties assigned as is. This grant was broken up into 2 phases. In this second phase, there were 3 segments, and the first segment was $120,000, which allowed us to rehab and do camera work and whatnot with our manholes. The second part was Benton Electric putting the 3-phase electricity in, and then the last phase is putting the electrical panels in. Typically with grant money, you pay for monies and then you're reimbursed, 90 to 120 days later, and then you pay the next segment. We were delayed on the first segment of this because we had to order the electrical panels in boxes, which took months to come in. So by the time they came in, the contractor was completed all 3. And so we paid the first $120,000. We didn't have the money on hand to pay the next $150,000, so we paid $75,000, paid half of it. So the remaining, we owe the contractor $200,000, and we owe the architect $17,500. So we are requesting that Benton ARPA, or that Benton County, pay the $200,000, and the sewer district pay the $17,500. In the 90 to 120 days, that money will be returned to your trustee. There might be some adjustment if you paid the $200,000. The last segment, we got it back about 7.5%. So I'm thinking it's going to be somewhere pretty close. So if you get back a little more than $200,000 or a little less, if you get back less, obviously the district will make it right, and that way you won't be out any monies.
What's the electrical panels? What are they?
We convert, when Benton Electric ran the 3-phase electricity, we're converting from single phase to 3-phase electricity. So we had to put in a new panel system that not only ran the different aerators at the pond, but also the in and out flow meters to adjust the chlorine distribution of how much. So the electrical panel allowed us to set the entire thing up on an automated system where.
So you're paying the electrical company or contractors? Or?
We're paying the contractor. The Graves and Graves was the contractor. They paid Benton Electric out of pocket for the 3-phase electricity. I don't remember how many feet it was, but it was from end of Sunset Park to the private land on down. I don't remember how many poles it was, but it's about $70,000 or $80,000 that they paid Benton Electric to.
But every bit of this will be reimbursed to Benton County because it's a grant. We just have to pay in advance.
We just have to pay in advance rather than waiting for the next sets of money to come back, which. Again, 90 to 120 days, and then paying that, and then getting it would allow us to finalize this Benton ARPA project, pay the contractor off, pay the architect off. We've already moved into the site development grant through Decatur County. We're already getting ready to do our lagoons, as well as looking at 2 other possible money grants. So that's what we're asking for. I call it a short-term loan, which is you would be made whole, whatever monies that you're out.
Any other questions for Mr. Whitaker? Seeing none, thank you, sir.
Thank you for your time, Commissioners.
Thank you. All right, the machine is ready to record your vote. This is appropriation, will require 2/3 vote. Please record your vote.
Anyone wish to change your vote? Motion carries 14 yes.
Motion passes. All right, resolution number 12, a resolution by Benton County Mayor Mark Ward to budget funds in the total amount of $38,877.87 received from reimbursable grants to the airport budget. I have a motion from Commissioner Arnold and seconded by Commissioner Melton. This time, Airport Director Rita Haslam will ask her to come to answer any questions and comment on this resolution.
Do anyone have any questions about this resolution? No?
This is a reimbursable grant. You can explain that to them just so they know
All right.
we're going to be having several of these over the next week.
We are. We're going to be having these from now on. When I review the archives at the airport, it looks like we most recently done is for projects we have been putting the entire grant amount into the budget. So we can't afford to continue to do that. So what I've done is changed this over to what all the other counties in the state do, and that is pay when paid. So what that looks like, the only amount that we are out of pocket is our local share. So we secure the local share amount. I hold those invoices. As soon as I receive those invoices, I get a PO and I hold on to those and submit those to the state for reimbursement. Once that reimbursement check comes back, I take the invoice to Ms. Jean, and then that money is deposited. And what this resolution is doing, it is putting that funds into an expenditures account so that Ms. Jean can then take my invoice and make that payment with state funds rather than local funds. So that's what this total amount is, encompasses 3 checks of payments that we've received on invoices from the state that we're putting in an account that Ms. Jean can make payments on those invoices.
Yeah, this work's already been complete and
Yes.
they've paid the county this money. So we just have to turn around and put it in an expenditure account to.
And that's what this resolution is doing. It's taking those 3 checks, putting them into an account to allow Ms. Jean to cut the check to pay the invoices.
For the renovation of the office area.
No, this resolution, those invoices haven't came in yet. These checks are on, one of these checks, I had this all laid out. One of these checks is a maintenance grant reimbursement. The other 2 checks, one is on the WINSOC grant, and the third one is on the perimeter fence grant. So all of those grants work in stages, from the preliminary design to the design and bidding phase to the construction phase. So they are from the beginnings of 2 other grants for engineering services.
Any other questions?
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Rita.
You said fence, WINSOC, and what else?
Perimeter fence.
Thank you, Ms. Rita. Machine's open, ready for your vote.
I have the presentation.
Oh, do you have that?
Now, would you change your vote?
Just stay there. Well, after this.
We'll do another business. All right. Next item on the agenda is appointing notaries. We have. Yes. We have, there's one notary to be approved, Ms. Sonia Leopard. Motion by Commissioner Fowler, seconded by Commissioner Melton. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Notaries are approved. Now we're down to any other business. And I think Miss Rita has a presentation for us about some renovations at the airport this time.
Yes, I do. I just wanted to bring the commission and the citizens watching tonight up to speed on our next project, bring you up to date on that. So as you will know, most people know, we just completed an $801,000 rehabilitation to our runway, laying down a new surface that will extend the life of our runway for several years. That was 100% state funded. With our next project is right around the corner, which will be our terminal building renovation. So our terminal was built in 1980 with more industrial opportunities and increase in local and corporate transit traffic. Now is a perfect time to update our terminal. As Ms. Jennifer has stated before, all of our RFIs ask about our airport. So it's a great time to make that update. Our renovation will include new windows, doors, flooring, ceiling tiles, recessed lighting, and sheetrock. This is our main lobby area where pilots spend the majority of their time with us, whether they be local pilot, transit pilots, quick turn. That's the main area. Some are with us for a few hours, some stay with us several days. Our restrooms will be made ADA compliant, which will require relocating the walls, relocating the toilets to meet those standards for wheelchair access. We will need to be reducing the stall count to accommodate that space that's needed. So we will be reducing those to create that space. This is our kitchen area. As you can see, it needs a little updating. We will be installing a tiled ceiling with recessed lighting in there as well, giving it a much better finished look. The water heater and closet will be removed. It's in the front corner. You can't really see it that well in that photo. We'll be installing a tankless water heater in a newly built storage closet up by the restrooms. This is the same room, just looking from the other direction. The wall you see in the back with the door, that wall will be removed, creating a more open space for larger gatherings. An accordion curtain will be installed to divide that space when needed for private meetings, a pilot snooze area for student pilot training and check ride prep. We're seeing more and more of that at our airport. And wow, that distorted. That is the back room beyond that wall that we'll be removing. That room was never finished. It was always used as storage. That room will be renovated as well and made functional. We'll install a storefront entrance on that rear wall. It actually has a garage door there, uninsulated. So we'll get a lot of heat from that area. We'll remove the ductwork, the overhead ductwork, install a tile ceiling with recessed lighting there as well. We also have a large crack running along the floor there in front of the garage door. We will be making a repair to that as well. And this is the exterior on the apron side, or the side facing the runway. The building's exterior will be cleaned, primed, and painted, along with new gutters and downspouts. A pavilion with safety railing will be added to the apron side as well, and we'll be including patio seating out there. The pavilion will help protect the windows and doors and extend their life by shielding them from the weather. And that is the exterior view from engineering. We'll be replacing the windows on the north side of the building and the east side. And then veneer stonework will be around the front there before parking is on the north side. That rock veneer will run around down the front on the east side as well, underneath the pavilion. We'll also be adding that small porch area over the entrance door there. We have a lot of pilots that step out that front entrance to make private phone calls. So that'll be a nice addition for them as well. And that is the expanded view. So on the top right, You can see the side view and the storefront entrance that'll be added where the garage door currently is now. That'll be 2 large windows and an entry door there. You can see how the pavilion will come off the front on the apron side. On the left-hand side, you can see just the diagram of how the railing will look and the entrance on the north. Down at the bottom shows the pavilion with the railing and how the front view will be from the runway. I was expecting to have a guest tonight. He was unable to make it. He had a family member get sick. We have had a donation from Mr. Mike Zuro. I met Mr. Zuro back in 23. He came out to the airport. Can you wait, please? Came out to the airport looking to lease a T-hanger. And I gave him a tour of the airport and talked about all the things that, the vision that I have for our airport. And his response to that is, what can I do? Mr. Zuro is the owner of Z-Line Kitchens in Brewston. He bought the old HIS building there. He also owns a distribution center in I believe it is Milan. Yes. So we have stayed in contact and had numerous conversations about what he wanted to do to help us get to where we wanted to get our airport to. His answer was he wanted to donate us a full gourmet kitchen. So if you'll go along. This will be our new airport kitchen. This will be a great asset to our airport. It'll be used to host meetings with both federal and state officials, project engineers, new businesses looking to invest in our community, as well as other meetings and events where food is served. Go ahead. This is another view of that. It will also serve as a great meeting place for our tenants to gather and other local pilots to have a place to meet up for weekend get-togethers or any other events they would like to have at our airport. We would also like to say that this is a project that we would not be able to take this kitchen to this caliber, obviously, without a lot more grant funds. So his donation allowed us to do far more projects and do greater enhancements to our building that we would not have been able to do had we had to put in the kitchen. So we would like to extend our sincere gratitude to Mike for his generous donation of a full kitchen for our airport project. This is the funding breakdown. This project is something that the airport board has worked on. Previous airport board members, Brett Burke, Matt Lowe, Bruce Martin, all worked on this project. This is something we've worked on from the beginning. This is a 3-part project. We started with the preliminary design, completed that, moved on to the final and bidding phase. We did have a slight delay when the EO came out in January, pausing all the federal grant funds. We finally was able to move past that phase, and we have now entered the construction phase. So the federal share came out to $633,835. The state share, $102,982. Local share, $20,983 for a total project of $757,800, which comes out to the local share to be just over 2.7%.
With his donation, with Mike's donation.
That doesn't include Mike's donation.
That's what I'm saying. You said you
Correct.
could do more.
Correct. Well, we were allowed to do those fine touches that we would not have been able to do had we wanted to have that, have a kitchen, which is used more than what you might think. We already have a number of events scheduled for next year. The EO really locked our airport down for events this year. We had Aviation Career Day, which we've hosted for our local high schools. My lineman and I host that. my lineman and I also host LZ training for all of our first responders. All of those have been rescheduled because we had to push those out because we never knew when the BIL portion was going to come to fruition due to the EO. So once that executive order went into effect, that locked down all of our funding. Our grant actually, our quotes actually expired. So when we went to re-quote, that quote went up 25%. When that quote went up 25%, the state picked up that difference 100%. So our local share never changed due to that delay. So now we already have, for next year, starting in spring, I've already talked to the Sheriff's Department, the Rescue Squad. We've already scheduled a crash reenactment training. That's something our airport has never had. We need to know what to do in the event we have an emergency at our airport. So I'm working with flight standards with the FAA to have a crash reenactment with injuries. We will be having that. I've got a tentative date in April for that. Our Aviation Career Day, our LZ training, another flying cruise in next fall. I've got numerous phone calls on that. All of those things, our airport will be in phenomenal condition by next spring. So we'll be able to get back to our event list that we had planned for this year. Any questions?
Will this facility have the rooms to house events and stuff for that training and stuff?
Well, I hosted them. I've already hosted LZ training there. It's tight, but what my lineman and I do, we move all the furniture out into that back storage room, and we set, you were there, we set the whole area up. We feed them on our dime. It's not in my budget. That's self-funded. We had ambulance, fire, rescue, everyone. We have the presentation in the front and we feed them in the kitchen. That's why our kitchen is so important. When we had the flying cruise in, everyone who participates, we feed them. So we host them in the kitchen. That's why I'm removing that wall, is to open up that space. When I'm president of our EAA chapter, we meet once a month. It's tight in there. So removing that wall and getting this restoration is really going to be helpful for those big size events, and also to have the pavilion to fall back on as well will increase that space availability.
Third Saturday night.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind. Well, I do keep a county calendar. I do like the county calendar of events that we see out now, because that helps me in my planning as well. And I'm also always looking at fall break schedules and school schedules and things like that when I'm planning. Anyone else? All right. Thank you all.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Ms. Wanda. Ms. Jennifer Wheatley.
I want to thank all of you who came out and toured Arnold's Fabricating tonight. They're an absolute asset to this community, and it was lovely to have you all there. And I want to thank those of you who stopped by and had supper with us. It means a lot to me that we get to spend a little bit of that time together, and we come once a year and just eat some chicken or some barbecue or whatever we're going to eat. I appreciate all of you. Thank you very much.
Hey, Jennifer.
Oh, my pleasure.
Don't forget to thank TVA and Chuck Marquis for providing.
Oh, yes. TVA picked up the bill for our supper tonight. So that was very much welcome. You would have ordered a double?
All right, members of the commission, is there any other business which may legally and lawfully come before us? Motion to adjourn by Commissioner Arnold. Is there a second? Second, without objection, we're adjourned.
They did on Judge Whitmer.
He's on the. I used to.
I'm gonna get you, I know where his road goes.
They're fine.
Great.